There are feet of snow in Buffalo, and the Bills are not there. My name is Joe Dolan, and this is the Fantasy Points Daily Lineup for Friday, November 18th, 2022.
It's time for the FantasyPoints.com Daily Lineup. Staying on top of the latest news and updates around the NFL. Rise and shine, folks. We're taking the field. Here's your host, FantasyPoints.com's Joe Dolan.
Starting at quarterback for the Bills in Week 11 is Josh Allen in Detroit. Now, that's not uncommon because, there's an NFL team in Detroit. But the Lions don't play in Detroit on Sunday. The Bills do, though. They're playing the Browns there. And then the Bills are going to stay in Detroit to play the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. Allen and the Bills are now scheduled to play at Ford Field in Detroit at 1 p.m. after the NFL announced Thursday that the game has been moved to Buffalo due to the major snowstorm that has stricken Western New York. At the time they moved the game, it was expected to. No, Jim Cantori's there. It's stricken there. Now, Allen obviously didn't play well in the second half of Buffalo's meltdown against the Vikings in Week 10, but he made it out of the game and will start for the Bills the rest of the way, barring setback. It makes us feel better that he'll be playing in indoor conditions, though mostly just for his fantasy production and his receivers than anything to do with the elbow injury he's playing through. At running back, the Chiefs might have found their new early down option. Yes, Isaiah Pacheco had 16 carries for 82 yards in Week 10, but further confirmation that his role is increasing? Well, special teams coach, Dave Tube, told reporters on Thursday that he is looking for other options in the kick return game, which leads me to believe the Chiefs believe Pacheco is too important on offense to return kicks. Now, Pacheco has a glorious matchup with the Chargers' run defense in Week 11. Could his first 100-yard game be around the corner? In our RB2 spot, we have Detroit's lead runner. Lions running back Jamal Williams returned to practice on Thursday after an illness kept him out on Wednesday. Normally, I don't freak out about illnesses, but remember 2 weeks ago, Damian Harris couldn't practice all week and then didn't play. So you always do have to pay attention whenever somebody's on the injury report. Now, the Lions seem committed to their three-man running back rotation, with DeAndre Swift's shoulder and ankle injuries limiting him to just a handful of snaps in the last 2 weeks, despite his not even having an injury designation on last week's report. However, Swift has scored twice in the last 3 weeks, so this matchup with the Giants certainly appears to be a flex-worthy one for Swift. But it goes without saying, Jamal Williams is a strong RB2 with his volume and touchdown-heavy role. The Chiefs are in the news again with our first wide receiver spot. Mecole Hardman has been placed on IR with an abdominal injury. More specifically, Chiefs coach Andy Reid said Hardman has an illness to his abdomen, which obviously sounds like appendicitis or something similar. He will miss at least 4 weeks, and Hardman's absence could open plenty more opportunity for Kadarius Toney even beyond this week. Juju Smith-Schuster is also highly questionable to doubtful in Week 11, given his history of concussions. So Toney immediately becomes a rock-solid wide receiver 2 option, and Sky Moore might have life for the first time this year. Toney scored his first career touchdown in a victory over the Jaguars in Week 10 on his way to finishing with 57 yards on 4 catches and that touchdown on just 5 targets, and he had 2 rushes for 33 yards as well, scoring 19 fantasy points. His snap share grew from 9% in Week 9 to 42% last week, which was aided by injuries to Hardman and Juju. But it's clear Andy Reid plans to make him a weekly feature in Kansas City's offense down the stretch. Toney is already in wide receiver 3 consideration after his performance in Week 10, and the injuries have developed him into more than that. Is it possible he becomes a league-winning player if he can become the number 2 option behind Travis Kelce in a Patrick Mahomes-led offense? I'm not discounting that, and that's why I was so aggressive picking up Toney after the trade from the Giants. In our second wide receiver spot, we have a returning Hollywood Brown. Brown has been designated to return for a return from injured reserve and took place in individual drills on Thursday. That's per Darren Urban of the Cardinals official website. On Monday, Coach Cliff Kingsbury said that Brown is getting close and would definitely be back after the team's Week 13 bye at the latest. Now, this obviously suggests he could be ready as soon as Monday night against the 49ers. Brown was producing in a massive way before he went down, operating as the overall wide receiver 6 before the injury. While he has significant target competition now with DeAndre Hopkins back and Rondale Moore emerging, Brown should do enough to hold at least top 30 wide receiver value the rest of the way, barring injury setback. The Cardinals can't run the ball effectively, so they should continue to rely on the pass, even no matter who is the quarterback here. And in our flex spot, we have potentially rough news on Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale did not practice on Thursday after being limited on Wednesday, so that would suggest that he got injured in practice. A midweek downgrade for a guy who has fought injury problems all year is not good news. Now, per Charlotte Carroll of The Athletic, Wan'Dale Robinson says rest today was more precautionary, and they'll see how he feels tomorrow and go from there. Tomorrow meaning today, Friday. Tightened up yesterday, meaning Wednesday. Now, as I've said multiple times on this program, players are usually more optimistic about their injuries than the actual prognosis. Now, the Dolphins might not, the Giants might not be able to escape playing Kenny Golladay given the injuries, though Darius Slayton has been a godsend. Slayton has scored double-digit fantasy points and top 58 receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 games, and he scored in Week 10 on a weird touchdown in a victory over the Texans. Golladay continued to prove he's one of the biggest wastes of money we've seen in recent years, dropping both of his Week 10 targets. So Slayton should continue to get a large portion of the Giants' perimeter targets. I'm Joe Dolan. This has been Week 11 of the Fantasy Points Daily Lineup. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the video. It really helps us out. If you like my work and you want to get in touch with me, go to fantasypoints.com, use code LINEUP22, get 10% off the website, and join our subscriber Discord. Also, you can reach out to me on Twitter at FG_Dolan. Thank you, everybody, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday.